Well, Lexi, so how you motivate yourself past barriers in your life is how you eventually really end up in a leadership position in the future. Being uncomfortable is oftentimes how you kind of can gauge if you're going to, if you're progressing. As such, this is the discussion over the next two questions. So my third question is, what is more powerful, a success or a failure? And how do you remotivate after a failure?
Okay, so I really like this question and I thought a lot about it. And I'd like to say that successes are more powerful than failures because that sounds more optimistic. But I really have to say that failures are definitely more powerful, in my opinion. Um, just successes are good and they make you happy and they give you that warm, fuzzy feeling inside and they help you, like fall asleep easier at night. But failures are what keep you up at night till 2 a.m. asking why you did that thing 7 years ago. But so I thought of a really good analogy for this. Think about yourself as, a college GPA. Your college GPA essentially is a culmination of all your academic successes or failures. So if you think of yourself as a, GPA, you're riding along and all your successes are great and they help, bump you up a little bit, but you really don't see a huge change when you're just making those B's and A's. But think back to, that one class you really didn't do well in and you got that D or F, and then all of a sudden your GPA just kind of plummets 2 or 3 points. And so basically that culminates to, that one failure is very impactful. But thinking about it more, I'm actually glad that it's that way because that means, your average kind of standard day-to-day like mean is pretty close to those successes. On an average, you're pretty close to those successes. So even though those successes don't really seem like they're making a huge impact, altogether, they're what really drives you and keeps you up at that level. So even when you have that failure, it's good to know that that's not the norm. So when that does happen and I have that failure, to remotivate myself, first, I usually call my mom. That's 100% true because you have to have a support system when those failures happen. It's really easy to get inside your head and your brain is telling you that you failed and you're kind of start going down a little spiral inside your own mind. And it's really important to have people external to that can remind you that you're doing a great job and it's okay and you're still going to be successful. So part 2 to that is then after other people have tried to convince you that it's going to be okay and you can get past this, you then have to reconvince yourself that you can do it. So I think back to all of those successes that have happened throughout my life. And I let myself realize that all these successes really outweigh this one failure. And that's how I remotivate myself, because I tell myself that this one failure is not going to define me and I'm going to get over it and I'm going to get back to succeeding just as I had been done, because that's my norm, is being successful at things. And even though you do hit that one failure, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on everything you said there, Lexi. I think that the importance of failures from a motivation standpoint is best seen when everyone's going to remember that one failure you did, even if you had 15 successes beforehand. It's such a it just is a driver for change, and it's what's going to keep you up at night. Everything you said was spot on, so I really thank you for kind of sharing your thoughts on that.